Hi, I want to talk to you today about things that you can make on your flat top griddle that you never thought you could make on it. Have you ever wondered what kind of things that you could possibly do on here? Or are you just stuck in a rut in just making the same things over and over again and want a few different ideas? Well, I'm Chef Sherry, and I'm here with Griddle Cooking with Chef Sherry to give you some ideas on breaking out of your comfort zone and maybe trying a few different things that you didn't know that you could make on your griddle. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Some things. What kind of things do you think, if you have an unusual thing that you make on your griddle that you don't think other people have made on it, put it in the comments. I want to know about it. I want to know what you're making that maybe other people aren't making, because I know there's a lot of different things out there, and it's kind of cool to see what everybody's doing, what other things other people are making on the griddle. But I'm going to show you a few different things that you might not think you could make on your griddle. I have a cookbook, Recipes for the Blackstone Griddle, and I'm just going to show you a few things in here that I have done that some people don't usually think of doing on their griddle. But then I also want to show you a few different items and kind of explain a few different things that I've made that you can make on your griddle too. So on my cookbook, monkey bread. I made this not too long ago. It turned out super good. This I did in a pan, but you can actually do it right on your griddle. It turns out really, really good. Cloud eggs. That's something people don't think about doing. Have never, I seen it done and I'm like, I gotta make that. And once I did it and tried it, it's like, that's pretty good. I think I'm gonna make that again. And I have made it a few times. Dips. Super Bowl. This is great for Super Bowl. I have done all different kinds of dips on the griddle. Use a cast iron pan. Mix up your dips, just set it on the griddle, come back and stir it every so often. A lot of times I'll do that when I'm making other things, and you can bring it in when it's hot, when you're ready to serve it, and boom, there you go. Dips are awesome on the griddle. And you would never think to make that. I would have never thought you can't make dip on the griddle. It's like, but if you use a cast iron pan, you can. Yeah. Hasselback potatoes. This is something that I tried a while back, and it was a hit with my family. Use foil, wrap it up like you would a baked potato, throw it on the griddle at the beginning, and you just let it cook as you're doing other things. Just let it go, and by the time you're done, boom, you can have a nice side to go with your main dish that you're making. Corn on the cob is another thing. Do it in foil, or you can go put directly on the griddle. You can do, like soak the husk in water, throw it on the griddle. It's super, super good. Cobblers. This is one thing that, it's like, there's no way you can do that. But use a ramekin. Ramekins are heat proof. You can put them on the griddle. I've done it. I've made blueberry cobbler, peach cobbler, and just use cake mix. Just mix up a cake mix up a few of the ramekins, and boom, there you go. There's a dessert that you didn't even know you can make on the griddle. Super easy. Cupcakes. Now this is my forte. I am a baker and I like to bake. And a lot of people, when I first started doing this, I had so many people say, why bake on a griddle? And for one, it's if you're out camping and you don't have the oven, then you want to make a sweet treat for somebody, celebrate a birthday party, or just have something sweet to go with dinner, a meal, and you can make that on the griddle. I have tips. There's certain things that you got to do that, so it doesn't burn on the bottom, but these cupcakes were made on the griddle. I did outside and used the dome lid. They turned out perfect. And I also made a birthday cake. You can make birthday cakes on the griddle. So just do the layered cakes, make them smaller. You don't want to make a big giant one because it's not going to work if you do that. I've tried it and had not had really good success, but if you stick with the smaller ones and do thin layers, they turn out perfect on the griddle. And fritters. I have done fritters on the griddle. You can deep fry. I know some people don't like to do that, but what I say is respect deep frying when you're doing it. If you do it properly and do it the correct way, and I've got all kinds of tips on that. I've got a video I have in my cookbook how to do it properly. You can deep fry all kinds of stuff out there, and it keeps it out of the kitchen. It's like, I hate deep frying in my kitchen. That is one thing that it's like, nope, I don't want to do that. And we're not going there. So let's get started with today. I'm going to show you a couple things. If you're coming in from Facebook, if you want to put your name in with a comment, I'd love to hear where you're from, who I'm talking to. I can see your comments on here. But we're going to do, did you know you can melt chocolate? You can melt chocolate on the griddle. It is not too hard. I love messing with chocolate. That is one thing that I've done for years. I grew up with my grandma doing chocolate, my mom doing chocolate. And so melting chocolate is just second nature for me. And I've done all different ways. And this is one way that I found is super, super easy. I actually have this jar that I have chocolate in, and so it's kind of, there's a big chunk in here that I'm trying to get melted, but you take the griddle low. You want it as low as it can be, and if you're using the outside, the gas griddles, you want it on low. But I take this, an old towel, and I take and wet it, really wet it good. And when it's on there, you want to keep on wetting it. So I have a bottle that I will wet it over and over again because you don't want it to dry out. You want that moisture is going to help this melt. And I am just going to keep on adding the chocolate to it. And my suggestions as far as chocolate. So there's a lot of variables when you're messing with chocolate. I'm actually going to show you how to do chocolate dipped strawberries. So Valentine's Day is coming up. This is a perfect thing to make for your sweetheart for Valentine's Day, your loved one, your kids. I make this for my kids, my daughters, all the time. They love chocolate dipped strawberries. And so you can melt the chocolate on the griddle and then make a whole bunch of them. So tips for you. I prefer to use the wafer chocolate. I get this at a local store in town. So this is something you're probably going to have to search out to find, or you can buy online. It is the melting chocolate. What is mine called? Alpine milk wafers. So there's dark chocolate. I'm using the milk chocolate, but this here you'll find in a lot of stores. I do not recommend using this. You can use this in a pinch if you want, but it's going to taste different. This is more waxy, and then this is more of a pure chocolate, and I don't recommend using this. If this is the only option that you have, then do it, but I recommend this. And another thing, people say, oh, well, use chocolate chips. You know, in that too, it's like, yeah, you can use it, but it's going to be harder to melt. I don't recommend it because there's a coating on the outside of the chips that they toss it in before they ship it out, and it's just going to taste different, and it's just going to be harder to work with. But stirring, you got to keep on stirring this. Don't let this sit too long because it'll burn on the bottom and then your chocolate will be wasted. So you want to just keep on stirring it and stir in the corners. Grab the tip of that and put right in the corners and stir it. Get that all mixed up. I also recommend a glass jar. You can use the different size, but a wide mouth works good. I use this all the time. It's harder, you know, I do also melt chocolate in the microwave, and I've done that for years. But this one here is good for just melting and letting it sit, and then just going and doing a few things, come back to it, stir it, and you can just keep on going with it. I'm just going to add some more chocolate to it because I want to get it, there's not too much in the bottom there. So I'm just going to add some more. And with the chocolate like this, you put it in and it'll melt down, and you think that there's a lot in there, but there's hardly, you're probably not even going to have a half of a jar of this once it's melted down. But another tip that I have is, so if you have stubborn chocolate that's not wanting to melt, or if you have chocolate that you want, when you bite into it, you want a soft bite and you don't want like to bite into it and have it bust and break all over the place, my tip for you is, this is my, of all my bakery secrets, this is probably one of my #1 secrets that I have. So I get this, and this is called Paramount Crystals. And basically what it is, you can get this on Amazon. I will provide a link in the description for you easy access to this. But I use this all the time with melting chocolate. And this makes your life so much easier. Basically, all it is crystal, or it's like shortening flakes is what it is. Just shortening, and you can just add it right to your chocolate. And if you have stubborn chocolate that's not really wanting to melt, if you're using like chocolate chips, if you have old chocolate that you want to use, but it's not really melting like it should, you're going to want the Paramount Crystals. Another thing that I do recommend you can use is shortening, like Crisco shortening will do that. I've also used that in here. You can also use oil, like a vegetable oil. I don't necessarily use this, but I know a lot of people that will use the shortening to do it, but it's just an option. If you don't have anything else and you're struggling with your chocolate, with it melting, then try that. But like this, the chocolate, I added filled this up, and so it's kind of like stiff right now. It's like, you think, oh my gosh, it's like not working. You just got to give it time and let it melt. And you got to work the chocolate is melted on the bottom here, and you got to work that chocolate up so that it gets to the top. And once I squeezed it, I just went and pushed down on it, and that melted chocolate just came to the top. And so you want to get that worked in there, and it will take a little bit of practice, and you'll be like, oh my God, I think I just messed up my chocolate. But just give it some time and just work it a little bit, and you'll be surprised at how comfortable you will get with messing with the chocolate. Just doing a few tips. But another tip that I have is stay away from the water. I know people will do like a double boiler with the water on the bottom, and I've done that. I did that years ago, and it's just because then you got a mess. So you take it out, it's dripping with water. You got water all over your work surface and all that. I don't like to do that. I just take, and we'll just add some some of the crystals to it. And just let it do its thing, because this will melt as the chocolate is melting and will just give you just the perfect consistency with it. So, you know, just give it time. See, it's still a little bit stiff, but I can tell that it's working in the bottom. And this is where, you know, you really need to be patient and just let it do its thing. And let the griddle, you know, stay, it's warm, it's hot. Like if I were to touch it, I'd burn myself, but it's not like screaming hot. You don't want it really hot because you don't want to burn your chocolate. And just giving that time. So I'm just going to give that time. I'm going to move this out of the way. We're going to kind of move on. So one thing too, we're going to do the chocolate dip strawberries. So I've just rinsed my strawberries here in cold water, and I've actually let them sit out a little bit so they kind of come to more of a room temperature, because if they're really, really cold, they're going to condensate and they're not going to want to stick, the chocolate to stick to them. So I'm taking a dry paper towel over the top of this and just like drying the strawberries to try to get them to dry, and then they will air dry. So when you're using the strawberries, you want to look for strawberries that are nice. It doesn't, not so much, it doesn't matter with the color on the top. If you can get all red strawberries, that's perfect. But this time of year, it's kind of hard to get that. You know, and I bought this box here of strawberries, and I would say probably a third of them had the white caps on them, and 2/3 of them didn't. So you kind of have to roll with it and just get what you can. But you want to go through and look at your strawberries. Like this one here is all mushy, and you could see the difference, the blemishes in it. You're not going to want to use that strawberry because it's not going to hold up very well after you get the chocolate on it. If you want to use a strawberry like this and eat it right away, go for it. I will do that, and I actually like set them aside, and I tell my kids, this is what you can eat like right now. If you want to eat it right now. And but you don't want, like if it's mushy, if it's got rotten spots on it, you don't want to use it, and you don't want to cut it off and then do it, because it's just not going to work. But when I go prep my strawberries to do it, I will actually go like this, and when I go to dip, I dip like that. I'm holding on to the greens, but I'm trying to keep them on. So you don't want strawberries that are like too overripe to where these fall off. You want to have them so you can dip them and get them almost all the way covered, and then put them on the board, and then you can decorate them how you want to decorate them. So I'm just going to let these are all pretty good. So we're going to get our chocolate melted, and we're going to come back to these. So I'm just going to go back to my chocolate and stir it. And if you have to, just kind of go. And sometimes the chocolate is stubborn. And then if it's really like, it's like looking like that, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's all ruined. I just ruined it. It was nice and melted, and I added that other chocolate to it, and now it's just destroyed it. No, you haven't. You just got to work with it, and you have to get that melted chocolate up. There's that melted chocolate that's in the bottom there that you got to get up, and you got to get that from the bottom and bring it to the top and get it mixed in. And then I am going to just add a few more of the Paramount Crystals. And as far as the Paramount Crystals, you know, I don't have like a set, like, oh, I'm using 1 cup of chocolate, the melted or chocolate, to 2 tablespoons. I don't do it like that. I do it by how the chocolate looks and how the chocolate is reacting and the finished chocolate of what I want. So I don't want to keep on adding more of the crystals in it, because once it like really is fully melted, it's going to be really runny and it's not going to be what I want. So there's gotta be happy medium, and you just sometimes just have to be patient. That's just when you're cooking on the griddle, sometimes you just gotta be patient with it and let it do its thing, and then just come back to it. So I am going to just like scoop it off of there like that. And we're just gonna let that go. And then I'm going to go to the next thing. So some other things that you might not think about doing on the griddle is, I suggest this especially if you're camping. This is like an awesome thing to have camping, is to have packages of these in your cupboard. And so you can throw these together really quick and you can have muffins for breakfast. You can have pumpkin spice muffins during Halloween or the fall time. Brownies are a good one. You can have little brownie bites with some ice cream if you want, some Cool Whip. And these are just perfect just to snack on. So it's simple ingredients. It's not too hard to make. And it's something you can actually let the kids do. Let them make it, and you can cook it up together, and it's an activity that's really cool to do with the youngsters. And so I'm just following the directions on the bottom of the bag, on the back side of the bag. So this calls for 1 egg and then 3 tablespoons of oil. And you can use any kind of mixes out there. You can do the box kind if you want to do a box kind. And super easy to mix up. Like that. I'm going to kind of break the egg there. I'll whip it up just a little bit. And I'm just going to add this to it. The powder mix. And just mix it up. And then you can do, I've done a few different ways with it. But I'm going to try to do these silicone cups. I have done, like when I've done the cupcakes before, I've used the little cupcake pans and used the paper cups in them. So I'm going to try these. I have these silicone cups, and I'm going to try using them to see how that they turn out. And, some people will even take and use a rack when you're baking on the griddle. I like to use a rack if I'm doing like things that take a little bit longer. You don't want the bottoms to burn. That's one thing with baking on the griddle, is that if you're not careful, like even doing pizza, it'll burn before the tops get done. And so you have to use the dome lid and treat it like an oven. Treat it like you're using an oven. So that's it. Just all I did was just mix the ingredients, stirred it till there's no lumps in it. And that's the brownie mix. And I'm going to go back to this and just stir. This is being stubborn, really stubborn right now. And I think it was maybe because I put those last chocolate chips in there and they were kind of old. They were not fresh. And that's one thing that's messing with the chocolate, fresh is best. If you are really worried about struggling with it, don't use old chocolate, because you'll be in a panic and you'll think that it's not going to work. I've messed with chocolate in it enough that I can, just by working with it, and it's starting to come together. It's but I also have it low, so I don't have it very high because I want to do it slow. I want the temperature to come up very slow and just melt. Yeah, so I'm just kind of working. I'm trying to work in those corners and get them out of the corners, because that's where it's melting on the very bottom. And see, and I'm starting to get it so it's coming together, but you'll see it's lumpy. But there's chunks where those Paramount crystals aren't melted in there yet. And you just gotta give that time to melt. And this is something that I'll do, like I'll go back and forth. Come here, do this, go here. Sometimes I will actually even melt it in the microwave first and then like keep it on here to keep it warm. I do combination thing. It just all depends on what I'm doing and what I want to accomplish with it. So I'm going to use these just little silicone molds, and you can even do like the paper, like that, in there if you want. But we're just going to it's not a very big package, so I'm just going to do 1 scoop per thing here. And I'm actually going to turn the griddle up. We're going to do, I have it set at 200 right now, but I'm going to do 300. I don't want to do too high. In like 350, I think might be a little bit too high. The directions say on the back of the package, put in a 350-degree oven. But when you're messing with the griddle here, you want to do just a little bit less than what the directions say. So, and you want to kind of get even. And I probably should have I'm going to spray some of these. I'm going to do some, because I did not spray them, and that might be, you might want to, like that. And they might pop out easier. Okay. I might be able to get, am I going to get another one? Or, yeah, I might be able to get one more. Like that. Go like that with it. There. And then I'm just going to take, and it's almost to the 300. I'm going to stir my chocolate here. Ooh, and it's getting, you could tell that it's melting on the bottom. It's easier to stir. There we go. Just like that. Okay. So I'm going to go like that. And remember to just keep on making sure that you keep this wet. You do not want to let this dry out. For one, it will burn, but you want to keep the moist heat. The moist heat is what is heating this. And let's see, I am going to try, so we're going to just put these directly on the griddle. I'm going to try to use, I'm not sure if I can use the small lid or if I'm going to need the big one. So I'm just going to try to go put this like in a circle around. Kind of keep that like that. And remember, like your griddle is hottest in the center there. So I'm kind of trying to keep it towards the center. And can I get them all in there? I think I can. Yep. We're just going to go like that. So what are we at? We're at 31 minutes. So I'm just going to see how long this was going to take to do that. So we're going to work on the strawberries. That is getting, see, and look how much more liquidy it's getting, and it's getting close to where we want. So the chocolate is melted, but you can see lumps in it still. The chocolate is just, sometimes the chocolate is stubborn, and you can't, when you're messing with chocolate, you gotta just be patient with it and work with the troubled chocolate. I call it troubled chocolate because sometimes I get troubled chocolate and it just drives me crazy. So some other things that you can make that you might not have thought about making, I have used the bowls on the griddle to make sauces. Like I will do an Alfredo sauce and make, you know, I've done chicken Alfredo, do the noodles up ahead of time, go out, griddle the chicken, and make the sauce in this. These work out amazing. They have the flat bottom. Love, love, love these. The ramekins too, do all sorts of things with them. Put them directly on there. You can do a wire rack, cover them with the dome lid, and cook all kinds of things with them. The pan, I like to use these mini pans and make wet burritos. Some people would have never thought of doing wet burritos on the griddle like that, but you cook the burger, the inside, the meat and stuff, fill it, your shell, put it on here, put your sauce on here, the cheese on here, put it back on the griddle, let it heat up. You can cover it up, let the cheese melt and get all yummy, gooey, and add your toppings to it, and wet burritos. They turn out perfect. And then like the pans, these pans work really well for doing, you know, cupcakes, muffins, anything like that. You can use these, but I just recommend having a dome lid that will cover the top of this. See, like this one won't work, but this one would work on that. And if you have like a full size one, you're going to need like a big, that I have out there with my other griddle. I have the big dome lid that I use. So, alrighty, let's check this chocolate again. Ooh, it's almost ready. Almost. Patience, patience. So what do I make with chocolate dipped? I do a lot with it. I do chocolate, the peanut butter balls. I do cake balls with this. I do like a coconut mounds ball. I do chocolate covered caramels. I make the caramels, and my family loves that. And what else do I make? Turtles. I do the turtles. Oops, sorry guys, I forgot to bring the camera back here for you. So I was just stirring my chocolate, and we're almost there, almost. And I'll let that go just a little bit longer, like that. Get this out of the way. Get these like that. And I am going to get ready for dipping. We're going to just use, I like to use like either wax paper or foil, put down foil. And I am just going to grab my charger. I'm going to see if I can get this. My computer, which is not going to be long enough. I hope my computer doesn't shut down on me. I forgot to charge it, so I don't have a lot of battery life. So I apologize if my computer just shuts down on me. You know, we hopefully can get through this, and we're doing pretty good on the chocolate. And just keep on stirring it. There's still lumps in there. I'm not sure what's up with that. If you know what we're on with that. So I just take the strawberries, make some room here, and you're just gonna take the ends of them like that. And you want to make sure that they're all dry. So I dried them really good. They're good. You know, there's not moisture, a lot of moisture on it. I think I'm just going to whip this. Like if you, sometimes with chocolate that's persistent, even if you just kind of whip it up a little bit, there you go. So it went from being really, really stiff to now it's nice and runny. You don't want it like really runny, but I'm going to pull this off of here so that it doesn't get too warm. And I'm going to take this out. So as far as dipping your chocolate, your strawberries in the chocolate, I'm going to grab the strawberry, the clean strawberry, take the ends like that. I have my melted chocolate, and I'm just going to put it down in there. You kind of wiggle it around to get what you want on it. And I kind of just scrape a little bit on the side that I'm going to be putting down on the board, just like that. And I just keep on going through and doing all of them like that. And if you want to, like I've got it covered, I'm doing so that the white, there's no red. You might want to keep it so that you have a little bit of red. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So not dipping it all the way, and so you have a little bit of color. So you have the white, you have the red, and you have a little bit of color there. This one's a really good strawberry. There's hardly any white on it at all. So I just make sure to grab all the leaves, just put it in. And so I do have some of the red showing on that. I'm going to just pick a side and just lay it down like that. So this is my strawberry that's kind of, I probably wouldn't you know, if I'm selling this or something, I would not put this in, but I'm gonna probably eat this one right away. So I'm just gonna dip it. And then I'm actually going to keep it over here so that I keep it separate from the other ones. And I'm just gonna go like that. You can keep on going with it, but I wanted to show you too. So I have the strawberries like that, and then now I kind of want to decorate them a little bit. So I just take the glass like this. I have a sandwich Ziploc baggie. I open it up and I just kind of put it in the glass like this. And then I just take some of this chocolate here and just put a little bit in there. You don't need a lot because a little bit will go a long way. I am going to zip it up. And you kind of want it to go to one side. I kind of made it so that I planned on doing just one side there. And I am going to squeeze here. So I'm going to cut this little tip off here. And remember, you can always take off, but you can't add to it. So I'm just going to do just a little bit, a little snippet, and just really, really tiny, because I can always take off. And then you just go, yeah, and there's not enough. I didn't take off enough there. I hardly even clipped it. I just didn't want to do too much. So just a teeny tiny bit. And then I go high and just go like this over top of it. And you can do like white, like I've done white chocolate. I've done decorated, the different decorated, you know, you could do a combination of this. You can add sprinkles to this, like if it's Valentine's Day and if you want to do sprinkles. So I just have this and I kind of just like pulled the end of it off like that. And I'm just going to set that down and I'm going to reuse that when I get done with the rest of this. So I'm going to just keep on going. I'm not sure if my computer is going to shut off on me here or not. We still have this going. Let's see, it's been about 10 minutes. So I'm just going to check it just to see. Remember, when you're using the dome lid, you're going to lift it up, but you're not going to flip it over. You're going to try to keep the heat in the inside of it. So I'm just going to lift it up and I'm probably going to hold it and just look and see what it looks like. Okay, now we still got a little ways to go. And if you need to turn them, you can. I'm just going to keep on going with it. Just let it do its thing there. And, you know, not rush it. It's just, I do have it at 300. So I'm trying to make sure that it doesn't burn on the bottom. And we're just letting it do its thing there. I'm going to keep on going with the strawberries. So I haven't heard from anybody. Let's see. I have my daughter. My daughter's trying to call me, so I'm hoping that it didn't pop up on your guys' thing there. So I forgot to tell her that I was taping. She didn't know that I was recording here. But so look at all the things that you can make with your griddle that you kind of didn't know that you could. You probably didn't know that you can melt chocolate on it. And, you know, I've done this a few times and I'm used to using the hot plate like this before with this. So I've done it quite a bit. I'm really comfortable with doing it. And you can make an amazing, you probably didn't know that you can make chocolate dipped strawberries with your griddle, but you can. So it's, you know, sometimes just think outside the box. And I would like to know, put in the comments if there's anything that you guys make that you don't think other people would know. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I would love to hear your ideas because there's maybe stuff that I've never thought of doing on the griddle that I would really like to try. It's just a wealth of stuff that you can do. And this here, I'm doing this, and I actually am planning on making like a little basket. So I'm going to show you. We have, do a couple more here like this. But I will actually take and do this as gifts. And a lot of times people will order these from me. I've made these a lot for customers that will request them for parties and for just like to give away as a present, especially during Valentine's Day when they want something really special to give to their someone there. Okay, so this is kind of, I'm just going to put it gently because you don't want to burn it. So just go gently across there, and it's kind of too thick now. It's too thick. But so I'm going to show you what I make after I have made the chocolate dipped strawberries. Super easy. I have a supply of these in my bakery that I do, but these paper cups work amazing. So I will take the paper cups. This is cooled down. Look how beautiful that looks. Look how gorgeous that looks. Put it in there, perfect size. If you have like a bigger, like I really wanted to get some big strawberries, but they didn't have them at the store, you can use the bigger cups with the bigger strawberries, like the actual cupcake size that you're doing. So then I just have, you know, like a pan like this, and I will put them, arrange them in there. Keep on going with them like that. And then you can just take and put them into a little baggie. Like that. And see, like that is kind of maybe a little bit small. You know, the paper cup is a little bit too big. And I do have these smaller sizes. Let's see, these might be a little bit too small, but let's try it. I'm going to try it. Yep, it actually fits pretty good. So the different sizes work for the different sizes strawberries that you have. And we're going to keep on going here. Like that. Got a couple more. And boom, look at that. And then I just have these bags. You can get these at different craft stores and stuff. So I just take and just put them into a bag like that. You can add a little bow tie to it. Just like that. And there you go. Chocolate dipped strawberries that you didn't know you could make on the griddle. Super easy. You can give it as a gift. You can eat it all yourself. And what was it? Strawberries, chocolate. And I added a little bit of shortening to it because I was struggling with it, or the Paramount Crystals. And that's it. That's all you need. And then just a few things to put it in. Perfect gift to give and super easy to make. So I think my battery's going to be running out here. This is cooking up. These are cooking up really good, but they are going to be taking just a little bit longer to cook. So I hope this gives you inspiration on things that you can make on the griddle that you didn't know you possibly could. So I hope you guys, it's been 50 minutes. I've been talking an awful lot here for 50 minutes. So I hope you guys like this, and I hope this gives you inspiration. And maybe you'll use this. I hope this is something that you'll think outside the box and make on your griddle, and share with me some things that you've done. I'd really love to hear it. I'm going to let you go. This is going to cook a little bit longer, but I am guaranteeing that they're going to be amazing. I have made them before. You need to try them, and we will have a great evening. We'll see you later. Bye.